We're live.
Good morning, everyone. This is the Finance Committee of the Allegheny County Industrial Development Agency for our meeting today on June 11, 2026. First thing that I would like to do is have everyone in the room introduce themselves, starting with Joe.
Hi, my name is Joe Hart. I live in Wellsville. I'm married with 4 kids, and I work for Siemens Energy.
Barb Benjamin, Operations Director for the IDA.
Craig Clark, Executive Director for the IDA and the LDC.
Melissa Pinjator, Assistant Director.
Terry Ross, member of the IDA.
My name is Doug Frank. I'm Treasurer of the IDA. We have, I think, Ed online.
Ed, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yep, happy to. Good morning, this is Ed Russell, counsel to the IDA from Hodgson Russ.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, everyone. We'll call the meeting to order. The first thing on the agenda is the minutes of May 14. Everyone, I believe, has had a chance to review those. Give me another moment to look at them before I ask for approval of the minutes. All right, with that, are there any additions or corrections to the minutes of May 14, 2026? And any motion to approve those? Carrie,
I'll second this.
second by Joe. Any other questions? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? That's carried. The next thing on the agenda is the review of the reports. The finance reports. And in those we have the balance sheet, profit loss, expense abstract, transactions by vendor, the CD bank statements, and the update on the business funds. The bank funds is going to be the last item after we look at the finance reports themselves. So I guess either Melissa or
Barb, you want to mention about any
any
changes?
comments on the adjustments we've made to the finance report?
You've got the balance sheet as of June 8th, and then there's a balance sheet comparison for the previous year that would go to June 8th of 26 versus June 8th of 25. Your profit and loss is January 1st through June 8th, and then a profit and loss previous year comparison, January 1st through June 8th, comparing 26 and 25. Expenses by vendor summary. This will give you the total expenses of the checks that we will be paying and who they are. Deposit detail would be the deposits that we put in. And these are the IDA funds in Community Bank and First Citizens. Our brownfield money goes through First Citizens.
I just had one question on that. There were 2 deposit reports, one's LDC.
Yeah, one's LDC.
Yeah, never mind.
So then the LDC deposit report is just our interest.
Yeah, there was no other action on there.
The expenses by vendor for the LDC, there's nothing.
All right, since the last meeting, you've done some work on these where you have comparisons from year to year, which we didn't have before. The one comment that I had was at the top of some of the reports, we have the terminology overall. Can that be designated as to what overall means?
Sure.
All the accounts that we have.
But-
I know that.
But we should put down that if it's overall, if it includes IDA, LDC,
Combined,
and
maybe
CRC,
combined.
they should actually have it as a wording.
Yeah, because if somebody's just looking at the one report, they don't know what overall means.
Okay, so you want IDA, LDC, CRC, and ACC.
Not ACUC, not on there.
Okay, so it's a 3. We just
But the ACUC figures would be on.
But yeah, so everything that's on there, we should noted at the top. 'Cause I had her change it to overall because it kept saying IDA and it wasn't IDA. It includes all the associated groups.
Okay, are there any comments or questions or any more from you, Barb, regarding the finance statement?
Well, like the balance sheet has to be all accounts. Because as you will see in your other folders, if you just isolate a bank out, you get absolutely nothing. It's not gonna show on these reports, it's in, like the LDC, I know it's in there,
Because we tried to do that to pull it out separately in the way, I don't know if it's the way it was set up or the way it acts, because they're all sub-accounts and they don't really, but they're not sub-accounts in the context that you can pull them out separately.
Which, now that we've gone through the Premier checking, which I gotta set all that stuff up, I got all the emails yesterday when I wasn't here. We might be able to do something like that,
Right.
but it's gonna be something that I gotta play with.
Yeah,
And I
these are
have
the
to get
banks.
BWB to
Right.
help me figure out some of these things.
So on this balance sheet, it says ACIDA all accounts. That is
It'd be the same
everything,
as
just
all-
like the overall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever title you use should probably be on. all.
Be consistent,
Correct,
so
yes.
it really should probably have all the units so that they know all 4 units are on that page.
So what you're saying is there is no way to get out just the IDA part.
Not at
In a
this
balance
point.
sheet.
Not at-
We'll work on it, because she tried to do that,
Okay, yeah, then I knew that.
because we prefer that too, not you, Terry, not just you, Terry.
Yeah,
Because otherwise you gotta look at the balance sheet, figure out what,
yeah,
who's,
'cause I
on-
think it's hard to tell in
there's
here
4 different
what is
organizations in
just
there.
IDA.
Right.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, like Craig said, is the way it was set up.
Right.
Because,
I'm sure
I've
every time they
had-
added something, they added just the way they had.
well, I've had to change things that are built as vendors to other names, or they're gonna kick out on these reports and adjust.
Well, Pam wasn't an accountant when she set that up, and she wasn't thinking, I don't think, how to do that.
And when I initially questioned BWB on the other names, they said you can set it up however you want, but that's not working now with what you guys are looking for as the reports. So I've gotta do a bunch of changes. I've had to change some. And I can't have the same name, like Community Bank. If we were paying Community Bank like when we had the loans, that would be a vendor, but you can't build Community Bank the same way as other names. So I have to change the naming of it, how I built it.
Because they only accept that name in one kind. Yeah,
Right.
I had that problem too.
So it's gonna take a while to get everything fixed, but as I come across them, like, one of these reports, when I was running them, had negatives and positives, and it's like, okay, that's adjusting the total that we have to pay, but, so I had to go in and change them all to other names. And QuickBooks is a total mess as far as how things are built, so it's gonna take me a few months to get it fixed.
The other thing I wanted to confirm was this 20,000 is what we're going to push forward to approve for bills
Yes.
at the regular meeting.
Right,
So just that list.
yes, that's
Yeah.
correct.
This is a nice condensed
Yeah.
list.
Well, it helps
That's what I
because
had to change.
Yeah, that actually works.
You know, at our last finance meeting, we talked about how much of the material, the finance information we will pass on to the full board. We're gonna pass all of this on, but they have this one.
Yes. Well, I've been on a number of boards, and if the board had a question, it's nice to have that. I think it's important the finance committee has already approved it, so the approval's not a big deal. But I think having the full list with the full board, if they have a question that comes up under a summary, they'd have to have the full thing to have an answer.
I agree with you.
And then it's too much work to do 2 different sets of reports.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, anything else on the finance report?
Is there anything missing that you want?
I think they look good.
I know playing with them, there might be something that's not quite right.
I think it's a lot closer, and the biggest thing is that we changed some of the names of the headings because it was not correct before.
Do you need a motion to accept them?
All right, Terry makes the motion to accept the finance report, and Joe seconds it. Any other questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Well,
Just one question. You guys are board members too, right?
No,
No.
So just you and I are.
Just you and me, no, I'm done this one.
Doug
Doug
voted
is-
off.
Doug is a full
He
vote.
can't make a motion to accept.
You're
He's
right,
correct.
motion and second.
It's only one of you two to make the motions,
You and I
correct?
will trade spots.
Oh, I'm gonna defer to the secretary.
I'm not I'm as new as you are. I'm done.
couldn't I make a motion if we had?
Yes.
That would be- Yeah, we should do that. Now, the update on the new business opportunity, Mr. Payne, we have an update on that.
Yes. So Terry was absolutely correct, and the bank was very happy to take our money in our accounts as a very large customer at this point under advisement when charging us fees for the Premier Business Checking and the Positive Pay, and will charge us absolutely nothing for those opportunities. And that's, Barb can update you on where we're at with it. It's, I think, almost done, right?
We just got it
I
yesterday.
just got a bunch of emails yesterday.
But a lot of that
Work
legwork
Wednesday,
is-
so
yeah.
I've gotta look at it all. I tried to get into the bank today and it's erroring, so I'm assuming everything's been flipped, but I won't know. And I
But
probably
we're
won't
at
get it
that
until
point.
tomorrow.
Yeah. But we're at the point where Barb and Craig, and they've done all the back work, everything's signed, everything's sealed, it's ready for us, and now it just has to get set up online.
I already got the first notification.
Oh, really? That's good. And it's
No,
very-
no activity in the ACHs, which I knew, but I just saying, hey, that-
Right, that you're already getting.
So what they're gonna do is you're gonna get emails that basically say there is activity or there isn't activity.
Once I
Probably every day.
sign it. So I gotta set up my
Once you get
sign.
signed in.
Yeah.
Because I think you have to set yourself up as a user. I think it's just Craig right now,
Right.
and so you have to set yourself up.
I got like 9 different packets that I've gotta review and
It did send a bunch.
so.
And the password you get is only good for so many hours. I can't remember. I think it's 1 or 2 days.
So that's
I
what we
may have to do that before I leave
You
today.
need to do that. I'm just warning you. I think you have a short period of time.
I don't think it says that. And then I may be working with somebody there.
Oh, yeah, because it's complicated. There's no doubt.
At least they should want to hear. They should.
The price was right, so
Help it.
they will.
Well, Mariah's really good, but there's a lot of, it's this stuff, it's more corporate than what she can do. But she can point me in the right direction.
All right, Craig, do we have a need for executive session?
Yeah, good. Yeah, I think we should.
I make a motion, to go into executive session.
Joe? Terry, second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All right, we're in executive session.
Anybody opposed? Here we go.
You're live.
All right, we're on the executive session. The next thing on the agenda, review of the committee charter. We're talking about the finance committee charter.
Right. And again, that'd be forwarding it to the full board to approve. And they can always be revised, but we should probably have some charters approved.
You know, the one thing that I had on this, when I was reading up through, was number 9 on the first page there. Conduct an annual self-evaluation of its performance, including its effectiveness.
That's an ABO requirement, directly word for word, but
So we as a group.
Authorities Budget Office requires that yearly you do that. Yep,
We do it already as a board.
right. And it just used to be that as a small IDA, without even any employees until last May, that the full board would function as all the committees. But now that we have a 7-person board and we have a lot more compliance to kind of adhere to, and we're trying to get strictly to the letter of the law, Ed and Craig and I, Barb, we've all been working really hard on this. And that's just straight from the ABO language, that your audit, finance, and governance, along with your full board, have to meet that
Which will be the same
criteria.
thing they would do for the full board, just that you do it
Right,
by.
exactly the same thing, just for the
And it's just a
finance.
check off thing, it basically says.
So they provide the vehicle.
We have
It's
a
literally a
vehicle.
form.
Complete.
It's a form, it's a one-page form.
Yep, they have a recommended form and we just use it.
You know, we had this, we saw this on last month's package and we held it up with this.
Yeah, we just held it up
Why did we do that?
because we hadn't had a chance to read it.
To the
Just to
vehicle.
get this process, make sure everybody had time to review it.
Okay,
But there was no hurry, there still isn't, but it'd be nice to get.
okay. Anybody have any questions, comments regarding finance committee charter? We need an approval from this.
I think approval from this committee, then we can get it.
Are we
approved
just
to the full
approving
board.
the one?
Yes, the
Just
one,
one.
the
Because you guys
finance.
are
fine.
finance committee, yeah.
The other two will be, all three will be reviewed at the
And
full board.
board? I'll make a motion
All
to.
right, Terry makes a motion, Joe makes a second. Any other comments or questions on the finance committee charter?
No, sir.
If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
And I don't know if it's, part of the board training, Craig. I can't remember from our board training last year because Craig and I attended the EDC board training, the annual. But this section 3B, I just wanted to note that if any of you are interested, I'm happy to show you the financial reporting. You can also find it on our website, but the yearly financial reporting through the ABO is the payers report. So if you have an interest, that B is saying that you have a basic understanding. If you feel like you need to look at that, feel free. You can either go on the website and look at our annual CARES report, and all the financial reports that we have to put in are in there. Craig and I work really hard.
Which are
on that.
based upon the audit.
Right, they're based on the full audit. So once the full audit is complete, that has to be done in CARES reporting.
It's very interesting that you have to submit the audit, but they do not accept the audit. You have to then translate it into their documentation.
Right.
Right? And you know that, Ed.
And
I mean,
the
it's
ABO
very,
documentation,
Yeah.
Terry, would drive you crazy because it doesn't follow normal.
I've even
accounting
asked
standards.
BWB to help
Oh, no,
me,
I.
and BWB can't help me because it's not
It
standard.
doesn't follow standard accounting procedure. It's very strange. They're actually, for the better information of the board, the ABO has recognized that and they're overhauling Paris and they're currently in a discovery phase where what they're doing is trying to decide, and I don't know how far along they are with this because the last time I got an update was February. But in February, I talked to the head of the ABO, he was at a conference with me, and they were deciding between in-housing and fleshing out their IT team to be able to overhaul it and just outsourcing it and putting a whole team in charge of a whole new software for that.
Yeah,
So it's a
the
lot of change.
unfortunate part at the end of the day, it'll ask for more information.
Hopefully it'll be more like GAAP, do you know what I mean, like more GAAP accounting focused, because right now it's kind of strange the way it's broken up. It's really strange. But anyways, yeah, so if you're interested in that, you can either go online, look at the CARES report for the financial reporting there, or I can just walk you through it, it's easy. So just say that.
All right, so we're done with that. Under the LDC application, nothing there.
No recommendations at this
So
time.
how about, going on to old business and old business? New business?
I have some new business that I would have brought to the finance committee earlier, but I couldn't You're gonna see it when we do the presentation for the building. The building numbers came in at about 3.3 million. Last year was 2.8 million, so it's more than last year, which you weren't
Makes
surprised.
sense, yeah.
But last year, to put in the grant, the board had to approve the fact that we would come up with $900,000. This year it'll be closer to the difference. In other words, it's
1.2,
yeah.
so.
So it'll be a bigger number, but when the presentation happens and it's true, is whatever the board puts forward as a potential grant once is not making a commitment, it's just saying you would if we got the grant. And the second thing is that extra money is still less than what it would cost to build the full building without the extra building. You see what I'm saying?
I understand.
So basically, I'll be asking, and I would process it through the finance committee, but it has numbers to look at. So I'm hoping that most of the board members will understand that we're only making a letter commitment saying we could potentially have up to this much commitment, but it's still less than building the building without the marketplace. And as I've told the board last time, and I'll tell the new board members this time, I can guarantee you won't get a grant if you don't put it in. But we've got a good shot, I think, this year for that getting it.
And I have just some new business that's just preliminary right now, but, we're working on an RLF grant, so more to follow. The RLF is through the EPA, it's $1 million grant. And I'm in preliminary review with Grow America. They have it's so deeply nested, right? They have a grant from the EPA to assist people trying to get RLF grants. So I'm working, they're a fantastic team. So I'm working with Grow America on the application, full application. The new application won't be released until maybe sometime in August. So we're just, as you would usually would, we're just going on last year's application and we're filling it out. We'll have to tweak it when the new one comes out, but that way we'll just be ready to launch. The awards are $1 million. Craig and I were talking about this yesterday. 100,000 of it is administration, and then 900,000 is grants and loans. The nicer part of the whole thing, and what makes it really attractive from my perspective, is that 49% of the money can be forgiven, can be grant forgiven. So you can truly pay, and this pays for remediation. So now we're assessing sites. We're saying this is your bill of health. It has lead, it has asbestos, it has VOCs. We haven't found any of those yet, but it's possible. PFEs. Now this is the price tag to clean it up. And the first question people always ask us, which is why we've been talking about it for months, is there money to help you do that? Can you help me clean it? And we don't right now. So this RLF, and we're well ahead of most of the pack of people according to Grow America that will be applying because of the LDC. Because we already have an appropriate organization that's a 501c3 that can manage the grant, and we already got an EPA grant. So they know that we can and are managing that well. So we have a really good shot at it, so we're working on that right now. So more follow-up, but that's just an update to let you know that I'm halfway through writing it.
Question, would the wake ponds and the manure lagoons, the remediation of the snow fall into this?
I don't know. Where's the remediation that's necessary, do you know?
What do you got?
Oh, you dragged out county road 20 on a hot day.
Oh, I do, I just,
Volatile organic compounds that are making the air quality.
smell terrible,
It's,
right? Possible.
And we were discussing it earlier, Ed, some of these ponds that the farmers have are just basically making so you can't live in rural America anymore.
yeah.
These are the big concrete like manure pits that
Yeah.
you're talking about? Yeah. If they're working properly, aren't they not supposed to?
No,
No, they're going to no
They're
matter
always
what.
going.
No kidding, I'm not.
no, that's nothing to do with work.
Yeah.
Unless you can.
The only way to solve the problem is cap it, make it a real digester so that you can produce methane and other things, that when it's open to the air, it'll always stick like that.
It's something we can
Some are worse than
surely
others.
Solve the problem, you'd be a hero in the county.
Being there, I keep kicking you, I keep thinking of the
Do
table
we
like
have
this.
any
Your legs
do we have any other business for the
I
committee?
What's that?
Any other business for the committee?
No, sir.
Can we go back to your statement about the building?
Yes, sure.
Because this says 2.8, so this one.
No, that was last year, I made it
Okay,
clear, that was
okay.
last, I had no numbers.
That's what I.
So
that's
the
what I thought.
executive summary was the executive summary, but I didn't have the numbers, today you'll get the numbers.
Okay.
Those are last year's
All
numbers.
right, thank you.
No second?
Yeah.
Go to the order. I'm going to motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Jay, you're so good.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Vote. We're adjourned.
We'll get this down to that.
And when I figure it out, how come I can't figure it out? Where's it say leave?
Are we off yet?
Oh,
No, we're not off yet. Where's it say leave?
yeah, or leave it,
I don't see it.
That top right white button, that's not that?
Where?
No, oh, right over there.
Oh.
End screen, there it is. They moved it on me, that's all.
They like to update this.